an occasion that really marks a lot of pain for all of us to have to say and to acknowledge that we are here gathering to honor a beloved family member, Gabriel, who is universally adored by the CP Solvers family. And we miss him terribly, terribly. And as I will do with myself now, kind of pull myself together and say that I'm honored to have met him, and even more honored that I get to share the space with the people closest to him who have joined us today, and the CP Solvers family and all of you to spend an hour hyper-focused on him, and most of our days and weeks still focused on him. So thank you for being here. And I appreciate all of you, and we'll pass the mic to Prof. Rez and the rest of the CP Solvers team to also say hello.
Thank you, Robbie, for welcoming everyone. Probably the most challenging welcome we've had to do as a group. It's a very sad moment for us and everyone who has met Gabriel. I know the few times I discussed cases in which he was the presenter, I was just taken back by his enthusiasm, his kindness, and his excitement for medicine. Yeah, it's a really sad moment, and I hope he's resting in peace. And I will pass the mic over to Charmaine.
I don't know if there are enough words to honestly convey how big of a loss this is for our community, for everyone. Yeah, you know, as Reza was talking, I was kind of reflecting on my memories of Gabriel, and it just his just infectious smile, that just one of the most kindest soul, that every time we would be in a Zoom meeting together, he would just immediately make you feel so much cared for, and he will be deeply missed. I think our community, the world is a little less bright, but I am incredibly grateful to have known him, to have been inspired by him. I remember every time he presented a case, I was like, oh my gosh, dermatology. I just want to learn from Gabriel. I don't know if I can at all, you know, discuss this case. And he was always so kind and gracious and taught me so much. And for that, I'm always so grateful. But more than anything, to have known him, and he will be forever part of our community and part of our lives. And I am incredibly grateful for that. And thinking of his family, thinking of everybody in this community, sending you all so much love, and we're always here for you, and we'll work really, really hard to keep honoring him, the person he was, his passions. Yeah, we'll always remember him. I'll pass the mic to Maria.
Hi, everyone. I don't think I'll be able to talk in English, so I'll talk in Spanish, mainly for Cata and Vale, pero yo sé que lo hemos hablado un poquito y en serio no tengo palabras para decirles lo que fue en mi vida conocer a Gabriel. Los conocí juntos, a Gabriel y a Vale, y para mí siempre va a ser una etapa de mucha emoción y mucha valentía. Haberlos conocido me enseñaron mucho de esta vida, de hacer las cosas con tanto amor, con tanto valor. Yo sé que no los conozco en persona, pero de lejos les puedo decir que en serio conocerlos a todos me han cambiado tanto la vida, y es un punto en mi corazón, o sea, es un punto en mi vida que siempre va a ser un antes y un después de tenerlos a ustedes. A Gabriel lo quería mucho, era alguien que siempre era feliz, compartía esa felicidad con todo, hacía todo con mucho amor, y es algo que nunca voy a olvidar. Ustedes dos los quiero mucho. También miro mucho de él en ustedes y miraba mucho de ustedes en él. Entonces, súper agradecida de haber podido tener esos momentos. Y vamos a estar siempre para ustedes también. Rafa, do you want to go ahead? Go next.
Yeah, I just want to echo what everyone's just said right now, that Gabriel was really, really important for us and a really special member of this family. And we'll be forever missing him. It's just so surreal because we were just finishing an abstract together, and it's just so hard to read the document and see his last edits. And just know that this was the last time we talked together, exchanged messages, and I'll always remember his dedication. Not only when it comes to present clinical cases here at VMR, but also making sure that we could do our projects together, make sure we could involve as many people as possible. So yeah, I just hope he's resting in peace, and that all prayers to his family that must be going through such a difficult moment. Thank you, everyone.
I also see that Jack is here, who's also been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Jack, I don't know if you can actually speak where you are, but if not, just let us know.
Oh yeah, I think I echo everybody's just devastation. I think it's been it's been really hard. I think anytime one comes close to or encounters death in any way, it's incredibly challenging. But when it's somebody who was so bright, the loss of that light is really potent and painful. And I think that is the image that comes to mind, or the adjective that comes to mind when I think about Gabriel. It's that he was bright, and he shined. And like, even looking at this memorial right now, it's, you know, I'm struck by how just by how how bright his smile is in the photo. And I think that was the impact he had. And I think I take some solace and comfort with the fact that everybody here who or everybody who's on here right now was touched by that light in some way, and has an opportunity to carry that light forward. And you know, it is painful and really hard. And I shared with the team this morning that what I keep hearing in my head is like an exact representation of his voice saying "super good" as whenever he would say that whenever we joined VMR. And I think I'm just grateful to have some of those memories seared into my mind to carry them forward with the brightness that he had. And it's very comforting to know that this community is here to literally carry the torch that he passed on to us when he passed. So thanks everybody for being here. And Vale, Kata, I'm sending you both an enormous hug. And I hope it can make its way over there.
You know, I think everyone here can say and speak endlessly about our love for Gabriel and how he changed our lives. And we're very grateful that 3 of his closest friends are here to spend some time with us. So we'll pass the mic to you all.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for your kind words. It's really hard to process this moment, because Gabriel was our best friend, and this is a memorial for him. Before giving my little speech that I prepared, I wanted to say that if you have any thoughts that you would like for us to put on the memorial, you can put them in the chat, and we will just write them on a piece of paper and put it so that this can go to Gabriel's partner. Okay, so I will start now. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Gabriel and I met 5 years ago during our second year of medical school. We quickly bonded over our love for medicine and pop music, the fact that we were both gay, and that we were born the same day. Our friendship seemed meant to be. Even though we share the same birth chart, our personalities could not be more different. While I am very scandalous, he was shy. Or as I teased him, he wanted to seem shy and mysterious. But he was a Leo nonetheless. His capacity to take up a room didn't come from how loud his voice was or how much he talked, but from his kindness, his sense of humor, his brilliance, and his actions. Gabriel worked tirelessly to make institutional changes in our school for the recognition of trans rights. That he accomplished the trans reform here and the inclusion of LGBTQ plus health in our curriculum. He worked in the committee against sexual harassment and was a support for victims as well as an advocate for many cases to be sanctioned. Since his early years, he was academically excellent, winning the math national title and national science fair as a high schooler, winning scholarships to travel to the US and Germany, and most recently, a fund to support his research on leishmaniasis. He was going to be a brilliant dermatologist. We will joke that when a case of dermatology came to the floors, we would consult him, and more than once he gave us a diagnosis as if it was obvious. Always humble, having the attendings or leaving the attendings stunned. We joined the CP Solvers family together, and I am grateful we have the recordings of his brilliance and life story for posterity. I want to highlight what he said on the first episode of Queer Rounds, which really resounds with me. He said, "Nobody deserves to be unhappy because of their own identity." And I want to spread that message to maybe some person listening can identify with my story. You are not alone. As we said our final goodbyes Wednesday night, we reflected on the amount of people that he gathered. Us, his chosen family, but also people that shared how he had helped them without noticing, with his kindness and generosity. He was a marvelous teacher and mentor for a generation of the students of our school, and I don't think there's anyone that didn't admire him. His life was not easy. He struggled with a rejection from some family members and his local community because he was gay. However, he chose to live authentically, and by his example, inspired us to be brave as well. We grew together, became more proud, and he found the love of his life in his partner, Jose, with whom I am forever in debt for making my baby brother so incredibly happy. He loved him so much. He loved us all so much. There are so many things I want to say about Gabriel, only so that you can know him better. Like how he was obsessed with sunscreens and loved Britney Spears. As the days pass and the idea of his passing becomes more real, I can only think that at the same time, time will heal my broken heart. However, I'm afraid that time will also make me forget the little details about him. Like his unique laugh. I don't want anyone to forget him. Thank you to all the Zipper family for making an effort to immortalize him. Our gratitude to you all is immense. Gabriel, you are everything to me. You changed my life, made me better. My twin, my soulmate. I miss you. I love you. I forever will. Thank you.
Vale, it's actually really hard to speak, and I know Robbie is feeling what I'm feeling, but I want to thank you for sharing that, and we will make sure that your message is heard by the entire CP Solvers community on our podcast. And I want to invite everyone to write something in the chat about Gabriel so that they can put it on his memorial. And yeah, my greatest regret is not connecting with him more and getting to know him more, but through you and the other members, I know he was an incredible human being. He'll be forever loved. And maybe we can just take a minute, like 1 minute, to have a moment of silence for Gabriel before continuing. But please put comments in the chat. Thank you. I also realize that we should welcome anyone who wants to speak to speak. So I'm going to mute myself, but anyone who wants to share a story, express themselves, we welcome you now.
I was waiting this opportunity because uh, Gabriel is so important in my life here in Tip Sobers. When we talked about the cases and the presentation, he's so friendly, he's so smart, and I remember the 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 episodes that I can't say to him, like, dermatology is not my thing, Gabriel. The dermatology is for you because he's the genius of dermatology. And I hope he's faithful, and I will miss you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Hey, Jack, I noticed you wrote a poem in the chat. Do you feel comfortable sharing that and maybe saying why you're thinking of that specific poem?
Oh, sure. It's a poem by her name is Dana Falls, and it's a verse. It's a verse from a poem called "Dare to Be Your Own Illumination." And I think I was just thinking about what Vale was sharing about how I think he did something that is a challenge for, I think, many of us in our own unique ways, which is to be fully oneself no matter what. And I think that really did shine through. And I think the specific verse that I really think about is the last 4 lines there, the be the energy and blaze a trail across the clear night sky, dare to be your own illumination. And I think he really, to the extent that I knew him, it seems like he was really lit up from within. And I think that that's a really rare and special thing.
Thank you, Jack. That verse is beautiful.
Robbie, to just be frank with you, I am not feeling like discussing a case today. I would love to welcome people to speak or write in the chat, but yeah, I don't have it in me today to talk medicine. I look forward to putting this episode on the podcast, maybe before an RLR episode, and resuming again starting next week with the case. I don't know how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I feel the weight of the event very heavily. I feel touched by how much love there is in this room, along with the pain. And I feel like I want to stand by the people who are closest to Gabriel and see how they're feeling. Vale, let us know how you're feeling, and we'll proceed in whatever way you want to honor Gabriel. We can keep reflecting on him. I think we're here to honor him in whatever way you all think is best.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is it, you know. Gabriel really consider you guys a family, and I don't know. ¿Crees que debería comentar lo de tu hijo de Carlos? O sea, de la responsabilidad y eso. Okay, so Gabriel was so considerate that even in his last moments, he considered you guys as a priority. And he said to me, as if it was, you know, I don't know what was going through his mind, honestly, but he just told me, please tell us if it's our family that I'm sorry, that I'm grateful, that I'm sorry I'm leaving my responsibilities. And I think that's a testament to who he was, considered above all, and how he felt like he wanted you guys to know. And I'm really grateful for your efforts to immortalize him. I know that we have talked about a scholarship, and I think it's a perfect way to really honor him, because he was a person that faced a lot of hardships and faced them with a smile, and he lived a hard but great life. And I can tell you that in his last moments he was happy. He left us happy. He made us he made sure that we knew that he was happy. And so I think this afternoon in his memorial we put Britney songs, and I think that's how he wants to be remembered. Not by sad things, but really happy things. And just please never forget him, because he was really a remarkable person. Yeah, thank you. I agree. Maybe it's not the best time to discuss a case right now, but thank you for the kind messages.
And Ballet, thank you for those thoughts. I want to make you a promise from the CP Solvers. He will live through us forever. We will have an annual scholarship in his loving memory. There will be a webpage dedicated. And as long as CP Solvers exist, Gabriel exists within us. That's a promise, for our family.
Thank you, thank you. I think that's a perfect way to honor him. Really, thank you.
Thank you, Valia, and thank you everybody for being here. And I think I wish we could play a Britney Spears song. I don't know if anybody can. Did he have a favorite that you know of?
He
Get
really
somebody
loved,
on the music here, folks.
he really loved Lucky.
Amazing. I don't here, let me troubleshoot to try to get some as a yeah. So I heard somebody say something, but I wasn't looking at who. Any music aficionados can get that going. I think that'd be quite a testament if you all agree.
I really encourage you to listen to the first episode of Queer Rounds, the series that we have here with the CP Solvers. I think in retrospective, hearing his story, for me, it was a shock. Even for me, I know him for 5 years, and when we had that conversation with Brody too, I cried because his story is one to remember. So I really encourage you to listen to it.
Maybe what we could do is republish it and have this precede that episode as the main episode for the week.
That will be lovely. Thank you.
Let's include the Britney part too.
We will send you pictures of the memorial so that you can see your notes and your messages. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, I agree that the intro should be Britney for sure. Thank you all for being here. It really means a lot.
Thank you all for taking the time to join. I am not the least bit surprised that everyone from the CP Solvers who can make it is here. I want to extend for a moment a brief reflection of gratitude for those of you who are joining on your own time. I think that amount of love is very heartfelt, and we really appreciate all of you. But especially those of you who don't know Gabrielle as well, to still show up here and to make your presence felt is very powerful. So thank you all for being here. We love you all and really appreciate